Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 7 of Geopolitical Simulator 4 Power and Revolution, our Germany playthrough here. We have just some time to kind of burn here. We're letting things go by. I think we're almost up to another quarter. We should be able to see what our budget excess is here shortly. Well, it's already kind of ticked over, but we should continue to grow as we progress through the year. But 170 billion is pretty good, and we're still trying to get rid of the debt, which is pretty important, and it is currently going down. Now, somebody had brought up a really good idea about going after Russia, as opposed to, because of NATO and stuff, as opposed to just starting with countries around me. And that's actually a really good idea. In fact, I would say that going after any country that NATO hates is probably not a bad idea. And we could actually right here go for Belarus. I don't think they fall under NATO, but I can double check. And that might be a country worth taking out because it'll allow us to expand our economy some, might even bring some new industries into our economy. It'll allow us to recruit more troops because of population issues, might even allow us to establish a front in Belarus to eventually take on the Russians. So I thought that was a pretty good idea, because if we go after the Russians, NATO will probably not give us a hard time for it. The EU probably won't give us a hard time, and it will give us a ton of resources and manpower and available land. So that's a pretty good idea. So I'm actually going to go ahead and set up a organization in Belarus and Russia. Make sure that I'm set and ready to go. That does mean that I will have to either dismantle some of mine or find more agents. I think that I will just dismantle some of these or just eliminate some agents from these. I'll actually take 10 agents out of Poland. Oh, I actually have agents in Russia. I just have them doing the wrong things. So we'll have them approach political groups, do political spying actually. And okay, and then I took some away from Poland. I'll put them into Russia. Actually take 5 more from Poland and put it into Russia. And then I'm going to take 2 from each of these for Belarus, I think. I might take more. Let's see. Gives me 14. I'll take 2 more because Belarus is a pretty big target for me now. Confirm. So 28. So we create a network with 28. And we go for political spying. But we might even be able to go after them regardless. It just depends on whether or not I've got some type of something to bring them. I can look and see. Is Belarus in here? These are... I don't know. It doesn't look like they are if this is alphabetical order. It definitely is. So Belarus is not in here. Okay, good. And I thought Russia was. No, they're not part of NATO. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay. So Belarus is going to be the big one. Oh, and then the United Nations, because we're going to have to convince them. Is Belarus part of the UN? They are. They would be. And Russia is in the UN as well. So we're going to have to see what we're going to do here. Russia actually, I believe, is on the Security Council. Yeah, Russia, China, France, United Kingdom, and United States are the permanent members. Belarus is not a temporary member. Actually, I'm a temporary member. Okay, so I'm going to have to find something. Provide proof for Belarus. So I don't think I have any proof. And I don't think I can ask them to authorize a military intervention. But these are things that we're going to want to keep in mind. So the NATO won't give us a hard time. And I don't think the EU will give us a hard time too, but we'll find out. But I definitely want to go for either Russia or Belarus. And that's going to be tough because Belarus should be easier. Their army is significantly smaller. They've got no nuclear warheads. Russia, on the other hand, would be very difficult. And they've got, yeah, a lot more nuclear warheads. Depends, too, on who Russia decides to bring in as an ally. I'll have to find some allies myself. Some people considered Spain to be a good ally, and that's probably not a bad idea. So I'm actually going to set up a meeting with Spain, see if we can get some trade going, and see if we already have an alliance with them. Bad statement in the press. I don't know why. Inflation's up, but not a whole lot, so that's good. How's transportation? I don't know if I looked at this yet. We've got a lot of highways and stuff. We just don't have, let's see, anything else. High-speed rail networks abroad. We don't need any of that. Minimum age. We've looked at some of these. All right. Environment. Legislation. And here's our meeting.
Sure.
So what's the military contract look like? So we already are alliance and allies. That's good. We'll try to set up a sales contract then and just see if there's anything here that catches my eye. Automobile construction. The purchase price is significantly lower, as I imagine it's going to be with a lot of this stuff. So this could be a waste of my time. Same thing with colza. Copper, electrical materials. Yeah. Flowers, though. Might be able to squeeze a little bit of flowers there. 2000, 1957. Okay, not bad. 1867, 1697. We're already over, so 1782. They took it. Perfect. All right, we're going to end the meeting there. Some people want me to trade with the United Kingdom, but I think we're going to be taking them over at some point, so it might not be the best idea. I'll dump a little bit more into housing here as we get closer to the end of the year. I just want to make sure we stay ahead. You get dilapidated housing every single year, and if you continue to keep trying to go after that, then if every single year you lower it faster than it raises by the end of the year, obviously you'll eliminate that, and that's always a good thing. Budget excess is 189 million, so it's already going to billion, so it's already grown almost 19 billion. Or it has grown almost 20 billion since we last looked at it.
Everything.
National holiday. So one thing that we need to eventually start doing is removing a lot of power from Parliament. The next elections are 2021. Yeah, we need to start removing power from Parliament, but we also need to increase our head of state power and when our next election is. So the next election is in 736 days, I'm guessing. I could change the length of my term, and I think that it would actually go through. It's very close to going through. So I'm thinking if we could maybe get that up, that might help. And another thing I wanted to do was actually authorize the use of referendums, which allows people, the people in the country, to vote for things. I thought this was interesting because this actually is not authorized in Germany. So I guess Germany does not allow their people to do referendums. So we can go ahead and actually set that up. And I believe it would go through. The government says they're all for it. And the people are all for it. So I think we're going to go ahead and allow this actually. I think. Because then I can use referendums to maybe change a few things. See, unauthorized referendum. I think that makes sense. A referendum is a voting procedure that consults voters directly instead of going through Parliament. It concerns social issues. In the case of a positive majority vote, the approved text is accepted and entered into force. I think if I can get the people behind me, this could help. I'm gonna go for it. I'm going to push that through. I'm hoping that doesn't backfire on me later on. I'm hoping I can use referendums to maybe help with a few things. Because I don't know how I'm going to... I don't know how I'm going to dissolve the power of Parliament. That's going to take a lot of time to get Parliament to basically have like this just stupid role. I could eventually like remove parties, I guess. It can be really difficult sometimes to outlaw parties, but if I slowly outlaw certain parties, that might help. Determine legality of the state with regard to political parties. Free multi-party system, tolerated multi-party system under state control. Allow one political party under state control. So regulate the funding of political parties. If I maybe starve the political parties of their money and then try to grow my political party, I can get enough votes to eventually make it the primary political party without people flipping out. There's like a couple ways to go about this, I feel. Okay.
The competition.
Yada, yada, yada. And a $46 billion cash surplus to help pay off more of the debt. Looking pretty good, but there's still a lot of debt here to be paid off.
Our infiltrated agent.
All right, and we've infiltrated Belarus, which is good, so we'll see where that takes us. Let's take a look at Secret Service. I think that we should invest maybe some money in the Secret Service some more. Just a little bit. I don't know if I want to invest $5 billion.
The military base was dismantled.
Perfect. So we're starting to dismantle some of the military bases. We'll probably get that pop up a lot as that ticks by as we come into the year. Oh, maybe not. It looks like it might have dismantled all of those. Nice. So that's going to be a bunch of money saved right there. I'm excited to get the rest of them dismantled. And just keeping the outside bases. Like, I've got 2 bases back to back here. You don't really need that many bases. Let's get rid of one of these. It's always good to dismantle a few bases at a time. I'll actually pause this real quick. So we'll go ahead and have these guys allocate to here. And then this base can be dismantled. And we'll confirm that. We'll keep all 3 of these bases here. Just in case. I definitely know some of these fighter bases can be dismantled. Honestly, the ones in the front should be dismantled. And the ones in the back... The one in the back should be kept. Because the ones in the front are certainly more vulnerable. And then there should be a military base someplace right here. And I might build one. But let's go ahead and do that and get these Air Force bases dismantled. More money saved. All right. And yeah, I should probably build a military base right here. There's no base here to defend this border. There's a base all the way down here, but that's kind of far away. Yeah, so I'm going to build a military base there. A land base in Germany, obviously. We'll put that bad boy right here. Some of these other bases back here could be dismantled. Air base here, I guess, is maybe fine. See, they got air bases that are like super forward, which just seems terrible. You know what? I'm going to move these air bases around. Let's move all of the... maybe I'll keep that one. But these ones definitely got to go. So we'll just cycle these guys here. Same with these guys. And there's a bunch of air bases. It really doesn't need to be this many air bases. I'll move these guys back to here. And this air base back as well. There we go. So this one can be dismantled. And this one. Nice. So this is all going to be money saved. And that does that for this episode. That gets a few more things cleaned up. Eventually this will get hectic because we take over other places. We'll have to worry about that. Nice. Popularity's doing really good though. Unemployment still at 4%. Chancellor's undeniable, your popularity is a measure of the actions by the government. Yes, yes, yes. I'm very well liked. Growth, that. Okay, currency, inflation's going up still because we're getting over 5% growth. So I just need to be really careful about that. How's our energy usage doing? Consumption, production cap, our consumption's still higher than our production, even with dismantling bases and such. We gotta get that under wraps. How are these gas wells doing? Producing natural gas, that's for sure. I'm hoping that'll help us at some point. Can I create a... No, I don't think I can do a pipeline with those. I could put more natural gas buildings here. Or build another 3G nuclear plant. I wanted to wait for that one to be built just to see how it does. We could do more biomass. But let's see how the natural gas is doing now. If I can remember. Pretty good. It's gone up even more. That's awesome. Boy, that makes me happy. That makes me really happy, actually. So conventional gas, and we did already subsidize that. That's so close to going through. All right, there's a couple of industries I actually want to take over in the country, I think. And those industries are going to be military industries. So let me see if I can do that real quick. So the aircraft carrier. Eventually, we want to be able to build our own aircraft carrier. So we don't really want that privatized if we can help it. We kind of want it to be in control of us. So we could just order them and have them built. And that's going to be difficult because obviously the government doesn't seem to want to take that over. Let me see if we could do tanks. Tanks and armored vehicles. Like these need to be taken over. So there's a budget cost of $275 million, which would be worth it. Says that Parliament would actually not allow it. So this is where the referendum might come in handy, or can this not be voted on? It doesn't look like it can. I could do a television appearance. That probably wouldn't help. I could do state involvement and be a minority shareholder, but I think I have to actually control it. See, they would vote for that, but they won't vote for this. And I don't think that I can get that to go through. So we're just going to have to wait. I do want to subsidize the energy industry, I think, a little bit more. The natural gas, I'm really trying to grow that. That could be a really good source of money. I'm subsidizing it for 20 million. Let's increase that to 40 million and see if that helps some. Authorize for construction of an oil pipeline if we want to. Okay. Interesting. Manage a pipeline. Okay. Dismantle a pipeline. Start building a gas pipeline. What would be the point? We could connect all of these, but we can't hook it up to that. So I guess it only makes sense if we have multiple gas in other places, then we can connect them all. I'm gonna build that. Labor by miles, 12 months, 496, confirm. We're gonna connect all those and see if that helps us some. So we got our own little gas pipeline going. That's kind of cool. I've never really played around much with that feature. So that's kind of exciting. Maybe if we get more of that stuff dealt with, then we can see what that really brings to the table. Now these power plants here, somebody had mentioned in the comment section, they're not producing a lot, and you'd be right. They really aren't. And the reason for that is because they are old. Like this one is 0.20 terawatts. They're all very old power plants that I have just recently started back up. So What my plan is to do, since these are costing a lot of money to operate and some of them really aren't producing a lot. Oh, here's one that could be restarted. Is I'm going to go around and start locating some of these and dismantling them. I'm going to start with the ones that are producing hardly nothing, and then I'll eventually work my way up to the ones that are producing a little bit more, but they will all eventually be replaced by these ones here, which produce 28 terawatts, so they're super efficient. And eventually, if we get better technology, then we can get better ones. But and we'll build all of the ones that produce the same amount in like one area, so probably all clustered like in this middle part here, so we can keep track of them. So I built one there. I'm probably going to build a bunch right in the center here and then put military bases around them to protect them. But that kind of gives you an idea of what we're going to do here. Wow, this wind farm produces 74. It's a lot. So this one could be restart. But here's another one. Actually, I'm going to dismantle that one. Which actually is going to cost a lot, but we're going to slowly start dismantling some of these and restarting some of them a little bit at a time. But that's kind of the progression of where things are going to go. Nice, and that helps a little bit right there. Hopefully we will get energy independence up and running, because I think we'll get a big boost to having that up. The pipelines begin, that's good. Yeah, national consumption's right up there. I want to get that dealt with. I can't wait till that one 3G plant kicks in, but we may need to get another one. The law on the usage of referendums is passed. That's good, and that increases our human rights. So let's see if people can vote on the industry. I don't think that they can, but we'll check. So aircraft carriers. If I want to, let's see, we got to go into actions actually. If I want to degree of nationalization, no. People cannot vote on that, but people can vote on other things. So let's say we go into head of state and change the length of my term to 5 years. These guys would not vote on it, but the people are happy about it. Oh, I cannot referendum that either. Well, what the hell's the point? What can I referendum? Let's see. Change the renewal of head of government's mandate. They can do that. Limiting the number of successive terms. Ours is unlimited. That's what we want. Change the system for electing. I like the one term. Nomination of head of government appointed for life. So everybody's going to hate this, including the people. So that would not go through. Communication, personality call. I should slowly start doing some of this stuff, even though I think it's fairly unpopular. If I can get it to go through, likeness and administrative centers, this will slowly start swaying people's opinion about me, and they might be more apt to want or to let me eventually become a dictator. Publicize a movement. We could publicize a movement. We can't do political. We do nuclear plants, though. It's kind of cool. And order a poll from the national census. Basic poll of voting intentions. Opinion poll of interest groups and associations. Detailed opinion poll on the head of state's actions. We already know that's pretty up there, so. Okay, let me look at Parliament quick. Determine the powers of Parliament. Consecutive role with no real power. What do people think of that? They do not like it, and obviously neither does Parliament. But if I do that, the people like it, but it wouldn't pass through. But I think I just accidentally did it anyways. Okay. Crap. So that's a bug actually in the game, where if you click on and off, sometimes it just kicks the bill through. I could cancel the bill. That'll hurt me even more, I think. But we'll just do it. So that's unfortunately going to take probably some of my popularity down.
Withdrawn a bill that was being debated. No problem.
Oh, perfect. So it actually didn't go through, so that's nice. All right, so we're going to leave it off here since we're actually out of time. Approval rating is really good, though, so we're going to try to keep that nice and high, keep working on some stuff. Budget excess is 176 billion now, so a little bit lower because I spent that money on the pipeline plus dismantling that one power plant. Real quickly before I go, This has still a good solid half year left, about 6 months, so we're gonna wait on that as well. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what is in store for us next. There's certainly a lot more things we can probably work on, and eventually I want to get Russian pipelines out of here when I'm energy independent myself. That gas line actually runs to Frankfurt. And one to Berlin. So I would like to get these gas pipelines out of here. And then, or if I take over Russia, then I guess I'll own the gas pipelines. But once I get those, then I can hook my pipeline up to these ones. Actually, it's probably better. Wait till we take Russia, hook our pipelines up to these, and then that'll give us an even stronger gas economy. So we've got a lot of places to go with that. But, all right. So that being said, I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you next time.